We have a special guest with us today. We have Stefanie Skokowski joining us from Pennsylvania, and she is one of our newest life coaches. She just achieved that rank in the past couple of weeks. Welcome. We're so glad you're
Thank
with us.
you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So can you share a few tips of your success that you would kind of give some advice to people just getting started?
Absolutely. I first and foremost, plug into your upline, not just your sponsor, but your diamond leaders. Find out who your upline is and plug into them and grab a hold, because you're never bugging them. They want to hear from you. And you could really cut out a lot of your learning curve if you just go to them, let them coach you, say, what do I do first? Really plug into them. That's what I always think first and foremost. Also, going to events is huge. You don't know who you're going to meet there. A lot of times it's even after the events. It builds your belief in the industry, the company, our leadership. I wouldn't be in this industry today if it wasn't for that. So events are huge. Your belief is huge. These are things that I coach my team, and these are things that I've had to learn myself, because if you don't believe, all the skills you learn and all the events you go to aren't going to matter. You have to believe that you can do this too, and decide what you want out of this. What is your why? Which we hear about in our training and our back office. Why are you doing it? Is it big enough to get through the hurdles? Because there are going to be some ups and downs. So once you discover your why are you really doing it? Are you going to commit the time to do it then? And so when we think this is our own business, we don't have a boss telling us when, that's wonderful. But sometimes then you're not going to give it the time it deserves. You think you're going to do it and you don't schedule it. It's more like maybe you think you'll be a weekend warrior. That's not as effective as if you did a little bit every day, like a compound effect. So I always encourage people, don't act like this is your business. Act like it's a job. You just got another part-time job and you need to show up. Determine your hours ahead of time in a week. What hours are you committed to doing? So that way it doesn't matter what you feel like or what kind of day you have. You still have to show up for work and put that, even if it's just an hour, because life's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of ups and downs. There's going to be days you don't feel like doing it. And so you need that why to be big enough, and you need to have that commitment of putting in your hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it does take work, and you really do need to plan that out in order to make it happen. It's not just going to happen by
You
itself.
still have to work.
You still have to work.
Yep, you have to put time in.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, you get to be the one to pick those hours.
Exactly.
It's all on
You
you.
can pick what works for you. Exactly. Yep.
Great. Well, I love that. Those are some awesome tips. Of course, I loved when you gave a little shout out to events, because I mean, that's kind of my my area. They are so important. It really is. It's a great time to connect. And
yes. And you're going to hear somebody's story that, because I know for me personally, I've been in the industry for a while. So in my other company, I was at an event when I was really going through a lot of hard times. And it was someone's story. It was one of their top leaders that came out and shared their struggles of what they went through. And it was 100 times worse than what I ever went through. I mean, it made me cry. And that's when it made me realize I'm not the only one going through life. Everyone has stuff happening, and you just don't see it happening. And so that's why I said, life's going to happen. Don't let that stop you from building this, because it happens to all of us.
Absolutely. It does. That's awesome. I love it. Would you like to give a shout out to your team?
I would love to.
Sorry, caught you off guard there.
No, it's okay. I wouldn't be here without them, of course. And they're so good at plugging in and going to these events. Joe O is my sponsor, and he's been great, as well as Frank and Johnny and Ken, everybody. We're a big family. We plug in all the time, and it's just so huge to not forget your team. And also, that reminds me when you said give a shout out. Even as your team gets bigger and bigger, don't stop doing what you did in the very beginning. Always be building. You always want to keep leading by example. So I'm still out there actively recruiting as much as I can, as if I just started. Don't ever stop doing that. I think that's huge.
Yeah, that is some awesome advice. Well, thank you so much for being with us. This was awesome. And congratulations again. We're excited to see where you go next.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.